Hey, this is Abacus with the Spuff of Legend, and today I want to talk about a big update that just happened for Planetside 2, an update that's gotten a large amount of the community angry. There are three real things to note in this update, and let's do the elephant in the room first. The Implant system has been completely revamped. Previously, they would just kind of appear in your inventory every so often, and you could craft lower-leveled implants into higher-level implants, which are more powerful. And you would also get these things called chargers that you would use to make them actually work. All of that is gone. The new implant system does not require charges. They also, you can equip two of them at once. The upgrade system is a little bit different. Now, you can craft the implants themselves and get a currency called ISO4, and ISO4 can be used to upgrade any implants that you've obtained. Said implants can only be obtained by purchasing them directly from the Daybreak store using either certifications or Daybreak cash. Now, the reason a lot of people are upset is because there is previously there's currently no way to get implants except through buying them, which either sinks a lot of certs or, requires premium currency. In addition, the packages that you get these implants are, you get random implants from them, and you can get duplicates. So there are a lot of cases where you can sink a bunch of certifications into buying these packs of implants and still not get what you're looking for, especially because some of the implants are incredibly rare. Two of the implants have a 0.05% chance of dropping and naturally have more unique or cool abilities that a lot of people are looking for. And in general, a lot of people are shouting that this is entirely pay to win in the way that they have set this up. And I can definitely see where they are coming from, and I can see why a lot of people are upset about this implant system. It costs a lot to get anything, and there's a very good chance that you'll get nothing. I have not personally bought any implants, I'm just using the stock too. And I should note before I keep going that I did not previously use implants whatsoever. I am not a fan of having to keep track of, charges, and so I was like, alright, I'm just not going to use implants because I'd really rather not keep thinking in the back of my head, do I have to keep my implants charged? Because they had they had rates where they would burn energy at if it was at 100%, you lose 1% every 4 seconds or something. I'm like, I am not interested in keeping track of that. So I had not used implants. And now I do, because they got rid of the charge, which was the one thing I was complaining about. And I can definitely see why people are upset about the inability to grab all the implants they want. In addition, they're also mad at just how long it's going to take to upgrade them. I've played this game for about 100 hours. Most of it was after implants were added to the game for the first time. And what they did was all your old implants that you got before this got converted into ISO4. So I booted up my game, and all of my implants had been turned into roughly 800 ISO, and that is about enough to reach the third, maybe the fourth level on a single implant. And the highest, if you wanted to fully max out an implant, it would cost over 2,000 ISO. And remember, the only way to get this stuff is through buying Daybreak cash and rolling duplicates or certifications. And in general, that's really, really expensive. However, I think the reason that I'm not particularly fussed with the entire implant system is the fact that the implants themselves are not very impressive. I've read through the list, and I don't see anything that I actually care enough to buy. If I if I rolled the dice, I wouldn't really care what was coming out because none of the abilities are that powerful. Battle Hardened reduces screen shake up to 20%, I think. I don't have the numbers in front of me right now, but it's not screen. That doesn't sound like that's going to make a big deal. Cat-like lets you jump higher and lets you move faster while crouching. There was one that gives you health upon killing someone with a melee weapon, or reduces falling damage. I just don't care about any of that, and the numbers weren't big enough. I'm not able to go into the VR system and test it right now. There was an exploit where people could get these for free on the VR training, so that has been blocked. But when I do get on, I did test them for a while on the PTR, and I didn't see anything that I really cared about and that really changed the game. So overall, I'm pretty excited about this update. I don't really care what they do with the implants. I am super excited about the two things that they've added to the game that is more in-game. The first one is the hard light barrier to deployable that the engineer can purchase. It is I'd say about knee-high wall, abdomen-high wall that you can stick in front of doorways, which makes it more difficult for enemies to breach said doorway. At the moment, they're working really, really well because I don't think everyone's realized that you can shoot and destroy them. Part of that is because most of the infantry weapons do not give you hit indicators when you shoot said hard light barriers. You do get them when you fire at them with explosives, but I think once people start realizing that you can focus down the hard light barrier and actually destroy it, they might be less effective. But for the time being, they're doing a pretty good job of bottlenecking certain rooms and forcing your enemies to enter them one at a time. So I've been really enjoying the hard light barrier. And also the really, really, really cool thing that they've added is the new orbital strike system. Now this is a little bit out of my purview as someone who exclusively plays infantry medic. I don't really do the construction minigame. But you can, if you build up enough of a base and set things up correctly, you can get a new orbital strike system that you can use to drop massive amounts of ordnance on top of specific spots in the game. You do have to be a little careful where you fire it. In this video you can see the first time I ever died to an orbital strike turned out to be a friendly fire orbital strike, but it's a really cool system where you can be defending a construction base, and you've got, the enemies are pushing in, and then suddenly, your team gets enough somethings to drop an orbital strike on them, and they're all gone. It's really awesome, and then they attack from another position because you completely demolished their previous position, and I actually really, really like it. I mean, death is really cheap in Planetside too, so you don't feel too miffed when you get destroyed by a orbital strike because you're going to come back to life immediately. But it does a really good job of just penetrating a certain system where the teams were previously locked into a standstill. I haven't seen that many offensive orbital strikes, so it mostly so far seemed to be a defensive ability, but the range is pretty impressive, and if two bases were near each other, I could definitely see some sort of a Cold War style. Both teams are trying to build up to that orbital strike to just demolish the other base, and there's a lot of GIFs on the Planetside subreddit right now showing how cool the orbital strike looks from the position of both the person firing it and the person being fired upon. So that's mostly what I wanted to talk about. Cool things happening in Planetside 2. Even more cool things coming down the slope. We did see a new update on the PTR mentioning that they are going to be adding a new medic deployable spawn point, which I am excited about as someone who exclusively plays medic. Going to be nice to drop my own spawn points and abuse the hell out of that. So if you play Planetside 2, hope to see you in there. Feel free to add me anytime. If you liked this video, please leave an update. It really helps me out. If you didn't, leave a dislike. I enjoy feedback in both directions. Thank you very much for watching the video. This is Abacus with the Spuff of Legend, signing out.